If you've been mindlessly watching videos for a while, here's a little thing for you to do right now. Lift up one of your arms, and with the other hand, do this. Now, if you feel properly, can you feel that? That's your pulse. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, no shit, of course that's my pulse. What the hell are you talking about? What is this? Well, listen, you might not realise how important doing this is. Reminding yourself, just checking in, that you are alive. And you may not realise this, but being alive it's the most privileged thing that we have. Being a human being, especially in this time, in this period of history, you should feel good about that. And as much as you probably don't think this, you are important. You exist. You are a living, breathing thing that has come into existence on this planet. There is a 1 in a billion chance of you having existed in this time. And you have. You are unique. And you are special. Because there is only one of you. And there only ever will be one of you. And I think you need reminding of how important that is. You're a human. Like, that's the first thing. For as much as the modern day narrative is that human beings, we're a plague, we shouldn't exist on this planet, we're ruining it. Put all that aside. You could have been born an ant. A mindless drone in this colony that only has one purpose, and that's to serve the queen, and all you do is protect the queen. That is your purpose, that is why you exist. You live and you die. That is all that happens. You are not special in any way. But no, you're not an ant. In case you hadn't noticed. You're a human being. We are the most advanced species ever known to exist. How amazing is that? That you're one of this species. It's something that we just take for granted, that we have these brains, these minds that are able to comprehend such things that are just the power that we have in our mind, in our physics, in the way we are, everything. The capability that we have is unfathomable. What we can create, what one person can do, can change everything. An emotion, we can experience the most joy and also the most sadness at the same time. We are such complicated, sophisticated creatures, and yet we also have the ability to understand ourselves. And because we are so special in that way, the one thing that we all need to do as members of this human race is protect ourselves, and specifically protect our brains. Because I'm sure you may have heard this before, but we are our own worst enemy. Our brain can tell us the best, most positive and encouraging things, but at the same time it could also tell us the most disheartening and upsetting things. It's our own brains that we need to be able to work with and not against. There's a reason that the suicide rate is so high at the moment, and it's because people, they can't defend themselves from the negative parts in their brain. If there was one thing that we could all do as a species to improve, it would be to be able to consciously control our thoughts. If we were able to all be positive about things, would there be much negativity in the world? These are all interesting ideas and big things to think about, but if you, watching this video, want to do something right now, for me, it's learn to love yourself. Now I have to specify, I'm not talking about unconditional love. You should not love yourself for the sake of loving yourself. You need to become the person that you would love. A mindset that I think is extremely useful, and this is very common when talking about relationships, is that you need to be the type of person that you yourself would be in a relationship with. And we have the ability to change, which is amazing. The fact that we can do that, we can recognize these things. Say, for example, that you're looking for somebody who you want to, let's say you want to be with somebody who is very neat, very clean and organized when it comes to doing things. But let's say that you're not one of these things, that's an area that you perhaps lack in. Instead of wanting somebody else to fill that role for you in your life, you can do it yourself. You can change. You can identify what it is that you possibly lack, and you can change that. So many people, they don't take care of themselves in that way. You see people walking along the streets who are just completely, they're morbidly obese, and they're not choosing to change that. They are possibly loving themselves unconditionally, which is not a good thing. If you love yourself unconditionally, you're not criticizing yourself. And this is the thing, this is the main thing that I want to focus on, is being able to criticize yourself, but being able to take that criticism constructively and do something about it. I don't want people beating themselves up for no reason and then just getting worse because of it, finding themselves in a rut, because that is the sort of thing that will lead to suicide. Take David Goggins, for example. This guy was in the worst shape in his life, in a dead-end job, hating his life. But he would look into the mirror and he would talk to himself. And it was him shouting at himself and physically saying to himself what he was doing wrong in his life and what he should be doing that eventually led to the path that he's on now. We need to be able to identify what it is in our lives that we can change and use our brains to be able to make those changes. Everybody needs to learn to love themselves properly. Not unconditionally, but love themselves properly. The whole reason that this video, slightly messy video, got made in the first place is because just the other day, I was winding down, getting ready for bed, having just brushed my teeth. I looked at myself in the mirror. I really looked at myself in the mirror. And all I could do was smile. The joy that I felt looking at myself in the eyes and recognizing the fact that I've been taking care of myself more than ever, enjoying my life, putting in the work. I could not help myself but smile, like full-on teeth showing smile. I was honestly amazed at how good I felt just looking at myself, seeing my physical body, how it had changed because I've been putting the work in. how my mindset is so much more positive than it's ever been, because I've been taking the necessary steps to get there. So I can only be happy with myself. And I want the same for you as well. Because there is nothing like being able to be in a room by yourself with just your reflection, being proud of who you are, being able to love yourself and be happy. Just something to think about.